every day, what I suggest to people is do a self-channeling practice of 15 minutes. Go on Zoom, open your laptop, your webcam, and give yourself a self-channeling session where it feels like you're serving somebody. You're looking at yourself in the webcam and on your screen, therefore you're serving yourself. And you press recording. When these things or type of settings are happening, personally, my container is more powerful. I feel more present with my guide. I feel more the energy and everything. Through this, I go step by step. I open my heart, bring attention to my heart. I create coherence in my torus field in the heart, in the front and the back. And then I bring the coherence in my arm, my hands, the finger, extension of my heart. Then I go into my etheric temple. If I don't know my etheric temple, I can just have the intention of going in my own etheric temple. Mine is an octahedron. When I'm there, there's always something in the center. There's a flame or a gemstone. And then there's always one aspect of me that is welcoming me. Most of the time, my white lion, but it can be another being. And then from there, then I try to express out loud all the time what is happening. Because when I express out loud through my throat, I am transitioning the non-physical into the physical. So when I express out loud my channeling, things start evolving. There's a lot of people into the spiritual journey that are seeking understanding of who am I from the perspective of, am I not from this planet? Am I like what we call a starseed? And then they have this feeling of like, I don't feel at home here. I come from this other planet. And then this energy of I come from there, personally, from my own experience, is a bit of an illusion. Because from exploring all my starseed aspect, and over time I explore more than 25 different starseed aspects, I realized that they are still omnipresent and living their own reality at this time. Therefore, like everything is omnipresent, forever existing in the now. And then as I work with them, they serve me. And then by serving me, they serve themselves. And then also through deepening my relationship with them, I start also serving them. Therefore, I serve myself. And then over time, I saw these aspects evolving in their own reality. And for example, I work a lot with my white lion aspect. And this is, from my current experience, the main aspect that I should be embodying, working with in this life right now. So there is one aspect that is mirroring the best ability that we need to embody here for our so-called mission or destiny that is forever evolving, but it's more about the embodiment. So for me, it's about the embodiment of the divine masculine, about the lion, the solar plexus, about the teacher, the leader. Therefore, my white lion is always mirroring back and forth from his experience what I need to embody next. And as I work with him, I am in a way merging with him and integrating all these essence, all these aspects. So what I'm trying to explain is that behind all that, my white lion, somehow when I started working with him, I was feeling that he was living in a specific planet. But as I evolve my relationship with him, I realized that actually he's living in a celestial realm of white lion. And over time, I started feeling that he has wings. So I was like, wow, it's not like the current white lion that we hear about in the starseed community. So everything always evolved back and forth. And this happened also with my reptilian aspect. At the beginning, I was seeing and feeling and interacting with my reptilian aspect where he was like destroying worlds and planet. And more that I work with him, being in communion with him, more and more he's like transitioning towards more like a neutrality, embodying a bit of light. He's almost like emerging cracks of blue light coming out of him. In all our aspect, they have the foundation of our soul. So my soul is mainly blue, a bit of purple, a bit of silver. And then over my spiritual journey in this life, I was gifted a golden ray as an approval that I am on the path of the divine masculine, because the golden ray is the divine masculine. I had already a bit of a silver ray, the divine feminine. Somehow, like all our aspects are emerging these colors, these core color of our soul. I have in all my aspect, I can see that blue, I can see that bit of purple, that bit of silver. The soul color are all different rays that somehow we receive along our soul journeys. And from my own experience, what I understand is like we need to have the experience of all the rays. And the rays can be seen as the connection to the chakras, but they're not fully defined, because in the multiverse, there is no such thing as like fully defined. It's undefined and defined, right? It's like nothing and everything. So when we try to grasp everything through reasoning and logic, we lose a bit ourselves. So we need to feel these rays. Like where did you feel that blue ray when you tap into it, right? Do you feel a bit in the throat? Yes, but you can feel it everywhere. And how does it feel? The blue ray is a bit more protective, like Archangel Michael with his cloak. The blue Arcturians, the blue avian, they're embodying these colors because they are somehow using that ray in their own evolution. Like the white is known to be like oneness. So therefore, that's why 7-dimensional beings are all white, because in the 7th dimension, it's about mastering that oneness energy. It's the last incarnation of identity. After this, we become all one, and we have like no identity. In the 8th dimension, it's like all the collective merge as one. It's a more of a gluey, formless energy. And then we move up like that, and the journey never really ends. Like the questions, there's infinite amount of dimension. It's a never evolving journey because the creator itself is always evolving. So if we're chasing the finish line, then we're not really understanding the full spectrum of the spiritual journey. I need to also work with patience. I need to also work with boredom. I need to master the energy of resting, the energy of doing nothing, right? So it's that constant balance. When I'm seeking, then it goes into a point where maybe I'm trying to control too much. I'm trying to push too much. So there is a sense or a point in our journey where we need to also lay back and just wait and learn to wait, master waiting. We need to master every aspect, every emotions, every dark and light aspect. And yeah, there's no like one clear path. It's each and everybody has their own path, their own essence, their own guide, but the destination is all the same. We're all going back home into being one more and more with the creator. And one is not the exact term, is more unified, because from my understanding, oneness is more linked to the white source. It's more linked to like being part of a collective. Therefore, there is the opposite, which is the black source. So the white source is more linked to the father spirit, and the black source is more like to the mother spirit. And that mother spirit is more linked to identity. It's more linked to individual will, where like the white source is more like collective will. And then these two wills are expression of the whole creation. And then here in this 3D realm, we have free will to decide if we want to play with collective will or individual will. Individual will is a bit like self-centered, egocentric a little bit, but not like too harsh ego. It's more of a self that is working on his own service to self, is like more driven. The collective is like, it's all about like, how can I play as a team? Here in the 3D, we have everything. So it's like we see people that are self-driven a lot, and they have this whole energy of like, it's all about me, and then they reach a certain level. And then we have like people that are more linked into a collective team play. And then somehow it's like everybody's gonna have their own journey through that. Maybe some is gonna be more about finding that middle way, some is gonna be more about mastering the collective will, and some is gonna be more about mastering the individual will. We all have like different journey coming from our past experiences of our soul journey. There's no such thing as past. It can be seen as vertical, and then from that, like, there is some lesson we need to master here in this round. But I could come here with a destiny from my soul, like, okay, from my past experiences, I want to master in this realm this and this and that. But somehow I start my life, and then there's this spark inside of me that emerge, and then I start becoming like whatever, like a master of like things that I was not supposed to master. Therefore, my destiny is always evolving too. It's not fixed. There's no such thing as a fixed plan for my life. There is something that is script, like main lessons. But if I somehow showed to my soul and my higher self that I understand the core, or I passed somehow like the test, then like the whole transition can move very fast. The density can move very fast. So like the future is already existing, right? The time is a infinite loop. So if I move towards a future that is distant, and then somehow I shift through like a massive spark, I shift my whole reality and I become more of a master, that means that my future is different, is another timeline. That means that my past is completely different. And then because it's a loop, like an infinite loop, so if up in the loop here, that was where I was supposed to go with my future, and then I transition, then that means that the loop in the back changed also. And this has been seen multiple times, where like people, they work with their past life and then they start evolving. Maybe they had like a past life regression at the beginning of their journey, then they were like these criminals or whatever. They start evolving and they're more like centered, they're more aligned, they're more in love, and then they do another past life regression, and then somehow they realize that they were like enlightened guru in a past life or whatever. So reality is forever changing like that. There's nothing that is fixed. That's a good question. So why people are more driven towards spirituality here now in this era, right? I believe that it's like a cocktail, that everything is happening all at once. There is multiple souls that are ready for that through our multiple incarnation here on earth, but there's also this era, this transition, right? As we are transitioning to Aquarius, as we are transitioning to the new earth, the end of an era that ended in 2012, and then a transition towards another era. There's this transition between the 3D to the 5D. We are transitioning our physical matter body to crystalline body. So that's why we are on this intense ride right now, and it's an intense roller coaster. The earth is activating itself all the time. There is solar flash happening, but somehow it's like, if I'm not ahead of the so-called ascension of earth towards 5D, if I'm behind it, then I'm gonna get smashed by all these collective activation. And that's why people might feel tired, overwhelmed with all these activations, because they are behind the collective movement. So if I'm ahead of what Earth, where Earth wants to go, therefore I'm not going to be smacked by solar flare or whatever, like rays of frequency of Mother Earth or the collective. We all have our own dark side, but it starts with stopping judging what we see out there, right? Because out there is just a reflection of what's within me. So if I start judging somebody that is whatever, like being mean or harsh or whatever, like I am feeling better than this person. I feel like I'm a better being than this person. It's like somehow I put myself on a pedestal towards this person. It's like I'm not really fully receiving the lessons. I need to somehow accept that there is a polarity in everything. Therefore, there is a need of war. There's a need of all these things. It's just a mirror of what is the opposite. But at the same time, it's like I don't want to be condoning. I don't want to be like it's like I want to be accepting, but I don't want to say, okay, this is right. I don't want, at the same time, it's like, and that's the paradox. It's like we need to move towards more peace and harmony in this realm. Therefore, it's like if I see something wrong, I need to express it with compassion. I cannot just like be passive and let it go. And we get tested on a day-to-day all the time like this. You might see walk in the street and might see a man talking badly to a woman, but like somehow if you're crossing this, you manifested this. So it's an opportunity that the Creator is giving you for you to express your true self, and not coming to this person, this man, saying, hey, what you're doing is bad, don't do this, with coming with anger, but coming with a sense of neutral observation. And that's when we start talking about non-violent communication. So coming with a point of like, hey, I see you in your shadows. I'm observing here that there's a conflict. I know it's not my business, but I just want to express that when I was walking here, I felt this feeling. You're just expressing your reality. You're not pointing fingers. You're not trying to change the person. You're just expressing a different perspective that this person can start somehow like start seeing itself from a macro perspective and start overlooking what it just happened in its reality, because it's seeing different from your perspective. And this can shift something in someone. But sometimes it nothing happened for sure, right? But no matter what, if you manifested like a situation like that, you walk in the street, it's always a lesson, because there's lesson everywhere. The creator is always talking to you at all time. There's no 1 second that the creator is not talking to you. So yes, over time it can be overwhelming to see all the signposts, the synchronicities, the mirrors, but over time we realize that, hey, this is how I communicate, and then I can find a fun into this. I can be like an inspector finding clues to build puzzle, and it's a play that I'm doing with the creator, as I am the creator, the ultimate creator of the universe, but I am also the co-creator. So there is always this non-existent and existent, nothing and everything. There's always this this sense of like, I will never fully understand what's going on here, because love cannot be understood. And that's the ultimate truth of everything, is that we cannot really argue about love, because love cannot be understood. Like, I'm gonna have my own consciousness of love, my own perspective of love. You're gonna have your own perspective of love, but can we meet each other in between by just and then feeling it, exchanging it? And even in that exchange, I'm gonna have a different experience than you're gonna have a different experience. And it doesn't mean that my experience is better than yours. It's just two different experiences, and you're getting the right experience for your next level. Because we're always being prepared for our next level. Everything that we do, that if it's our job, if it's our relationship, if it's our money situation, is always a preparation for what is the next level, until we master the lessons, and then we can move to the next level. Abundance is not only in terms of wealth or money, it's in terms of everything. It's like abundance is the foundation of realizing that if I am fully everything, therefore, like, I'm deserving everything in every aspect of life, in terms of wealth, in terms of relationship, in terms of a physical body. But why isn't it not happening right away, right? Why I'm not like manifesting it like in an instant? Because like in this construct, in the 3D construct, there is this density that is making the manifestation slower. But at the same time, also, there's this dance between free will and destiny. And it's not free will or destiny, it's both playing together. So free will is a bit like, I am the creator, I'm in control of my reality. I need to work on what do I want to create, what do I desire, right? What do I want to experience? But at the same time, and then I'm setting these intentions, I'm visualizing these things, I'm opening my energy centers, I'm opening my heart to attract these things. But at the same time, there is a destiny. There is an essence, there's an infinite intelligence behind what I cannot fully grasp right now, that is also guiding me, that is also somehow knowing better than me right now. And that infinite intelligence is different layers. There is my soul that knows a bit better than my whole human aspect here and now, that is living through a veil. There is my higher self above the soul, which is also called the oversoul. There's the monad, which is the higher self of the higher self. There is all my guides, and there's also the creator. So I need to start trusting that I'm co-creating with these beings that have a macro perspective on my current situation. And they know better because they've been through this journey, or they just are seeing this reality from above. So they see more clearly the path ahead that is not fully unfolding, but slightly unfolding. Because the future is there, but there's infinite amount of timeline at all times. So it's like, I'm always shifting. Every decision, I'm shifting timeline every day. But there is moments where like there's a big shift in my life where I shift highways of timeline. And highways of timeline can be seen as colors. So me, I was in a highway of color of timeline that was more like purple, and then in maybe 6 months ago, I transitioned into a highway of timeline that is blue, which is more linked to my soul color. And then when this happened, it took maybe like 4 weeks where my reality was like making no sense. I could see some glimpse of distortion, some kind of a bug in the matrix, where like people would tell me, hey, do you remember like when we did this 5 years ago, and then your aunt came, and I was like, no, this never happened. And then next person told me, like, I was telling this person, I'm going to Egypt like in 1 month. I was like, you didn't go to Egypt last year? In that transition, it was a bit messed up. I was trying to like sue itself, solidify itself. From my understanding, we need to align to a color that is linked to our main soul color. But again, there's no such thing as a fixed construct, right? There's no such thing as this is the way. This is like absolute, right? So it's gonna be relative for each person, and it's our own journey to explore that and to realize what is my own truth in that. Our soul color evolved with our experiences. And a great example that I can share on assessing what is my truth and not taking what I'm reading or what I'm receiving from a channeling from others is the chakras. So I might be experiencing one chakra that is one color, but over time, it's like maybe I'm gonna feel it changing colors. And there's Deanna Cooper, for example, that is teaching that the heart chakra in the 5th dimension is more pink. The solar plexus is more gold. And then in the 6th dimension, they become more like rainbow pale colors. And they evolve colors in the 7th dimension. Well, I need to take this in hand and then feel it in my reality. How does it feel in my reality, right? How am I feeling my chakras right now? And it's about always like that dance of like I'm creating and I'm co-creating. I'm receiving from the universe, but at the same time, I'm trying to create my own reality within that. So never take for granted exactly someone that said something, or you read something, or you receive from a channeling of something. So everything that I'm sharing here and now, you need to take my perspective, but create your own perspective out of it. And then go within your body. To embody this concept, it's about unlocking all our energy centers. So there's the main 7 chakras, but there is after that the 12 chakras, and there's even chakras between the chakras. And then there's like the meridians, there's infinite point of energy that we need to activate. There's a chakra in the palms, under the feet, there's point of energy at the tip of the fingers. And it's like somehow I'm lighting myself up like a Christmas tree. Well, it goes towards discernment, and discernment is a practice. It's through learning how to ride a bicycle that over time I learned how to master intuition, right? So it's every day. What I suggest to people is do a self-channeling practice of 15 minutes. Go on Zoom, open your laptop, your webcam, and give yourself a self-channeling session where it feels like you're serving somebody. You're looking at yourself in the webcam and on your screen, therefore you're serving yourself. And you press recording. When these things or type of settings are happening, somehow, personally, my container is more powerful. I feel more present with my guide. I feel like more the energy and everything. And then through this, I go step by step. I open my heart, bring attention to my heart. I create coherence in my torus field in the heart, in the front and the back. And then I bring the coherence in my arms, my hands or finger, extension of my heart. Then I go into my etheric temple. If I don't know my etheric temple, I can just have the intention of going in my own etheric temple. We all have an etheric temple. Mine is an octahedron. When I'm there, there's always something in the center. There's a flame or a gemstone. And then there's always one aspect of me that is welcoming me. Most of the time, my white lion, but it can be another being. And then from there, then I try to express out loud all the time what is happening. Because when I express out loud through my throat, I am transitioning the non-physical into the physical. So the words make it more real, more physical. So when I express out loud my channeling, things start evolving. So for example, it's like right now I see blue. Oh, okay, there's a blue being coming. As I express, okay, this blue being has like big eyes. As I express, they show me different section of what do I need to express. They don't show me like the whole being. They show me like the eyes. They show me like what it's wearing. They show me the ends, like step by step like that. And I express step by step, and the story evolve. And over time, when I start practicing and practicing and practicing, maybe after a week, 2 weeks, 1 month of doing this 15-minute practice every day, I start understanding the subtleties behind channeling, because we are always channeling no matter what, because we are always a channel. Every thought is channeling. Every movement is a reflection of myself. It's a message. So I'm always channeling everywhere I go. So over time, I start realizing that how to play with this channel, and I can start transitioning towards living as a channeling being at all time. Like I don't need to sit down and start closing my eyes and channeling. I am channeling at all time. As I walk in the street, as I talk to somebody, I'm multitasking. I'm here, fully present, but at the same time, I'm aware with the macro perspective of things that are happening in other dimension. I'm aware that there is also these beings that are talking to me at the same time. But this takes time and practice. And through this practice, I start creating discernment. Because in this practice, there might be a test where like you're going to start seeing one being and you're going to start feeling different. And so basically it's like, don't be afraid of these false light being, because they're there to show you what is the difference. So once you have that experience, then you know. You don't need to protect yourself. You don't need to protect your channel, because everything that is happening to you is meant for you. It's a gift for you. It's a miracle. It's a lesson, right? So it's like if somehow you encounter like a false light being, well, you needed that lesson. Did you learn from that lesson? If you didn't learn that from that lesson, then this false light being is gonna come back on, right? If you get intruded by an entity or whatever, well, it's the same. It's like it's a gift. It's a miracle, right? Why it's a gift and a miracle is because behind that, it shows a power that you're not tapping into. Yes, I can have this intention of calling only beings of light, 100%. But because I'm living through my subconscious mind 95% of the time, which is filled with baggage, with shadows that I'm not aware of, that therefore they are shadows, well, I am attracting who I am, right? Therefore, if there's a shadow in me that is linked to whatever, like an entity, I'm going to be attracting maybe an entity. I can be attracting anything without being aware of it. And even if I set the intention of I don't want me to attract an entity, but subconsciously I have these things, I'm still going to attract things. But it is good to set the intention, for sure, because I am the creator that is also co-creating with all that dense. So what is behind that dark side? Behind that dark side is that individual will. It's that primal energy, that mother womb that is known as the black source. It's a black power, and there's different layers or gradient of that black power through the whole creation. And this is a deep topic, but like everything is happening within ourselves and outside, everything's happening as above so below. There is a mirror from the microcosm and the macrocosm, the micro and the macro. Therefore, it's like there is that black power within me. But like in the spiritual journey, more people are afraid of that black power because it can be chaotic, but at the same time expensive, and they don't know how to hold space for it. Because they don't know how to hold space for it, they're not really tapping into it, or they're not aware of it, then other beings are tapping into it. Because this is untapped energy that you're not using, then you're somehow subconsciously letting other beings tap into it, siphoning it through different technologies or entities or all type of things. So when we say it's like don't give your power away, is that your power is the life force. But the life force is what? Is a combination of that black power and that light source. But most people in the spiritual journey, they only work on more light, more light, more light, more light. But you can only reach a certain level of light as you deepen yourself in your root embodying a certain level of black power. And that black power can be seen in Sekhmet, can be seen in Set, the Egyptian god, can be seen in the Black Panther collective, into the Black Octarian collective. There's multiple beings that master this black power. There is actually a realm of ascended master of the black power. In the masculine, divine masculine ascended master realm that is above, it's like golden infinite realm, and then also the silver divine feminine. They have a support, embodying the yin and the yang, the dark and the light. So where is it in our body? This source of black power is in the lower dantian. So the lower dantian is below the sacral. So the sacral is 2 inches below the belly button, and then between the sacral and root chakra is the lower dantian. So we could tap into it now, because just talking about it is not enough. Like, we need to start feeling it, and we need to have our own experience of it. So just bring your attention there between your sacral and your solar plexus, and feel that infinite void, that infinite black space. It feels like the energy of an egg, but it's not an egg. It's like formless. It feels a bit more like feminine energy, mother energy, but at the same time it is non-dual. And more that I tap into it, more and more I feel it, it start warming up. And then to fully activate this womb, this black power energy, I need to tap into the depth of the universe, of the 0 point and the transparent glue, which is the 0 point, which is like known as stillness, peace. It is the space between each thought. It is the pause between each breath. It is the unmanifested, the non-existence. And then the glue is the existence, is the manifested. It's the expression, is the movement of the breath, the movement of the thought. It is love expressing itself through the dark side and the light side, being neutral, not taking one side. So imagine in that infinite black space, in that void of your lower dantian, a tiny dot that feels black and white and transparent at the same time, and that tiny dot is constantly moving, shape-shifting itself. It's unstable. And then around it, there is some type of a ball that is transparent, that is holding space for it. And that transparent ball is constantly like a ping pong racket, like holding space from one side to another, left and right, up and down, front and back, to try to stabilize it. So that 0 point is not in the center of that void. It is, and there's not only one, there is infinite amount of 0 point. It is there and not there. We cannot fully grasp it, but we can set the intention to enlighten it, sitting in that non-existence, that point of unmanifested, that point of infinite potential, because nothing has started yet. And that 0 point is the start and it's the end too at the same time. It is the whole creation. It's the isness. So from that 0 point, I can set an intention to create whatever I want to create, like manifest whatever I want to manifest in my life. And then it start emerging out of this transparent glue, that non-dual love, that creator that is expressing itself, that is holding space for itself, for the 0 point. And if I start working with all this, and then it start enlightening more and more black power energy in that lower dantian, then I can start feeling that black power energy being a bit more like tentacles moving everywhere, being a bit like a sea of petrol that is a bit agitated. It's unstable, it's moving, it's not comfortable. So what do I need is I need to start holding space from the opposite. The opposite is the white source, that collective oneness source, and it's the light. So the light in our body comes from our sun, and our inner sun is between the solar plexus and the heart. So bring attention in your solar plexus and your heart. And our sun is going to be, from my own experience, the color of our soul. So me, my sun it's a blue sun. So feel yours. And within that sun, then we do the same. We go tap into the 0 point, that tiny dot that is black, white, transparent, that doesn't have a color, it's full and empty, that is constantly shape-shifting, moving in all sides. And then we have this ball of transparent glue that is holding space for it, bringing more attention to the left, right, holding or trying to keep still that 0 point. And then through the 0 point, there's a burst of energy, a burst of light that is expanding into the sun. So the sun starts radiating more and more and more between that solar plexus and heart. And now, so I just activated within myself the two polarities, the depth of the source of the black source and then the depth of the white source. And now they want to start merging. So the white source shoot down and the black source shoot up. And they merge together in the upper dantian, which is between the sacral and solar plexus. So in that upper dantian, you can feel that it's like an infinite space that feels like a transparent ball that is merging that white and that black, swirling into each other. And within that infinite space of that black and white swirling energy, there is also at the foundation that 0 point that is being held by the glue. Because in everything there is the 0 point. In every cell there is a torus field. Within each torus field there is a black hole. Within each black hole there is this 0 point. And then when we start aligning all these three centers, then we can start spreading that unified light, that transparent unified light of black, white, and transparent glue, and then shooting it up our energy centers and down above our crown and lower our root. And it's like we have one pillar of unified field. And then we can go deeper and deeper and deeper into this practice and start merging with the womb of Mother Earth and the white source of Mother Earth. And then these are all portals towards deeper layers. So from the portal of the womb of Mother Earth, I can go into the womb of the galaxy, the womb of our universe, the womb of our multiverse, the womb. And it's like deeper and deeper. I dive deeper into more black source. And then I can do the same going from above, like through the white source of Mother Earth. I can go to the white source of our solar system that is like more linked to the sun. And then through the portal of the sun, I can go through a central sun of the galaxy, a central sun of the universe, the multiverse, and so on, never ends. And more I go deeper, and then I feel it within my body, within these parts that we just activated, more I become one with it. And then if I can find that stillness in all this, within all cells, within all chakras, while always bringing attention to the lower dantian, the inner sun, and then the upper dantian, then I start really activating everything. And that's really when I start activating my kundalini, because the kundalini is the bridge between the black source and the white source. And then through this, there is a constant activation of my physical body, where my physical body start upgrading itself, welcoming more of it. So if I start doing this every day, then my body, my nervous system get used to it more, so I can welcome more. Because if I would bring everything in all at once, my nervous system would burn and my physical body would die. So I am being guided through all this process. I don't need to be fully scared of my kundalini, because it's never gonna like fully like burst into a power where I'm not gonna be able to hold. Because as I am creating this meditation through all this intention, I am also co-creating with my guide, my higher self, that knows best, and they are gauging the level of power that I can embody right now. And there is stories where people, they receive a massive blast of kundalini, of electricity, like a lightning, and then their whole body goes into shaking, and then they cannot control themselves. Their nervous system feels a bit burned out and everything. But somehow it's like they manifested that. They needed to experience that. This is their own journey, and then there is a massive lesson behind that for them that is linked to their destiny. So through this, you can start feeling that warmth in the kundalini, in the spine, and then you can start playing with it. With the breath also, you can contract the pelvic floor, shooting up and pump it up in the brain. And then when you do this, if you just take your breath in the belly, and then you bring attention down to the pelvic floor, and you shoot up into the spine, and then you hold your pelvic floor, and then you pump it into the brain, then it's like it's splashing. It's like a light that is splashing into the brain, into the pineal gland, and then it's like there's a energy that is falling after that, more like a rain. It feels like a rain that is falling through different particles, through the whole body, through the arms, the legs, the feet. And that's it. Take a big breath, come back into your body, touch your body, open your eyes. And then we can do this for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then we're going to go deeper into it. And then there's going to be a point where you're going to feel like, whoa, can I hold this power? And it's scary, right? So it's like I need to like surrender into it, but at the same time, it's like, it's a dance, constant of like, can I let more of it without over stimulating my nervous system, that my system feels too burned out, right? It's almost like a car that is like, if you just like all the time you're like and you're just like on the maximum, then you're gonna burn down the machine. So it's like if you're doing this meditation and you reach a point where like, yeah, this is like everything is burning, it's like so powerful, and you're like, whoa, what's going on? If you hold on this power for a certain point, maybe like you're gonna have to live the opposite. Your body's gonna be like, you're gonna have to fall asleep for, depends, it can be a few days or whatever, or it can be, if it depends on how you get used to it. But through this, we are rebooting every cell, every organs. So somehow we are reversing aging. We are becoming more and more light. We're becoming more and more of the creator. So this is ultimate health, is that. And then more that I clean my vessel through transmuting shadows, doing shadow works, more that I allow this force to come in, and more that also I work with higher dimensional beings, doing higher dimensional activations, activating different part of my soul or different rays from a higher dimension. I'm allowing myself to receive more light. So more that I clear the vessel, more that I allow myself to receive more light, and then it's this dance of like removing shadows, and then also receiving more light. But at the same time, it's like we don't want to be attached to just light. Because if I'm attached to like love or joy or all these feelings, or like, for example, like this meditation, oh wow, that was so powerful, I want to get back into it. More that I get attached to it, more that I am creating a duality of it. So if I'm creating a duality of it, therefore I'm in an illusion, because the foundation of all is non-duality. So if I'm always seeking positive experiences, So I'm somehow like just creating illusion. What I'm trying to share is transmuting is not only about transmuting dark side to light side. We need to also, at some point in our journey, transmute light side to dark side, to embody more dark side, to embody more black source, more power. And this is the paradox of the whole journey. For example, there is a different construct in this reality where the service to self beings, the rays, the reptilians are trying to control our dantian, our force, right? Our life force. And they're tapping into it, they're siphoning it, hijacking it. They're doing everything to make us realize that we don't have power, right? But one of these constructs is, for example, the COVID vaccine. The COVID vaccine, in my experience, in my lessons of serving others, I saw that it was like chains that people would have on their ankle, and they would like be anchored into platforms, into the under earth, where like when they would die, their soul wouldn't be able to come back into the spirit realm. They would be stuck here somehow. So we need to transmute these things. And then the vaccine was also creating some type of control and amplifying shadows in the body. But there is a point in the journey where I am so embodying my power, my black source and my light source, that I am somehow invincible towards these beings or towards these act of control, this technology, that I could go and actually tell these beings, yes, put me this on my ankle. Yes, put me into that platform. I'm actually going to take that energy, because it is energy, and I'm going to transform it into more black power. I'm going to use this to embody myself into my next layer, you know? So it's like a shadow is controlling you because you're not ready for its power. Peaceful is the observer point, is that pause between each breath. It's that space between each shot. It's that non-dual observer, non-judgmental observer that is not taking one side or another. It's just good with the experience. Understanding that everything is a gift and miracle for my evolution. Therefore, like if I'm experiencing something painful or dark, I can enjoy this fully, experiencing it from the observer standpoint and seeing it as, okay, this is just an illusion I'm creating. It's just a lesson I'm creating. And then faster I get the lesson, more I can come back into something that is more still, more present. And then yes, I want to also experience the light side of it. I want to experience these joys and things. But as I said before, if I attach myself to it, then I'm going to be clinching to it. Then I'm going to create my own illusion out of it. It's like more that I want that joy, less I'm going to create that joy. So it's always about like being like the creator, being non-dual. It's about being like that isness, being like is. It's not about being one. Oneness is linked to the white source, is linked to that collective. It's about unity of white and black, of collective will and individual will, of black source that is very powerful. It can be very chaotic and destructive, because dark beings, service to self being, are actually using that force to control others. But masters are using that force to master the universe, to hold space, to use the white light to hold space for it, and then become enlightenment. Is that when you're able to fully welcome that black power, and then you hold space with the depth of the white power, and then these two are unifying within your whole system, and then you're letting go of everything that you think that you are. Every identity, you're letting go of this life, past life, future life. You're letting go of the spirit realm. You don't want to go back anywhere. You don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to, there's no home in the spirit realm. There's no home in the other incarnation. There's nothing else for you to fully experience. Therefore, you're giving yourself fully. You're giving your life. You're devoting your ascension process to the creator, saying to the creator, okay, I'm done. I'm good. I understand. And then in that full surrendering, I'm welcoming all that power that is going to be so destructive, so scary, but I'm trusting that beyond that, there's something more powerful, more blissful. And then I'm welcoming all that white light, And then through this, what we read about, I don't know, because I'm still here. People, they die kind of physically, but then they re-emerge, they reincarnate, they resurrect is the right term. But we see these stories in all movies. All movies are hidden messages of that process. It's like the superhero movies that we see, like Embodying Black and then merging, and then they're playing with that power. But who really knows? I'm expressing what I understand now, but it's always a mystery. That's the whole creation. It's like we need to welcome the mystery in everything. We're never gonna understand fully. As I said before, it's like the truth is like we cannot understand it. We can only try to feel it more and more and more, and attune our nervous system to it more and more and more and more, clearing shadows more and more and more, welcoming light. And then when we welcome a certain level of light, letting go of that light to transmute into more darkness, and then that back and forth. For me, I think the depth of discipline is less about like doing something to whatever, like create a business or yes, all these things are needed, right, in all these physical practices. But the core, the main discipline that we should have is that daily practice of communion with the Creator and devoting this practice to the Creator. When I give my practice to the Creator feels seen, and then it's sending back energy. I am serving the Creator. Therefore, by serving the Creator, I'm serving myself. Exactly when I go into a session with a client. When I go into a session with a client, I serve that client, but that client is always mirroring back something to me. But if I go into this session with a mindset of like, oh yeah, I'm going to do it because it's going to serve me, I'm not going to receive the gift. But if I'm fully devoting myself to that client, naturally there's going to be a gift that is always a gift that I don't expect. It's unexpected. Serving the God is the same thing. God is a being, right? So I am the Creator. God is living through me, right? I am the ultimate Creator that is remembering itself. But there's also this God consciousness that I'm co-creating with, right? Because like everything is a mirror, so it's like this ultimate dance of I am the Creator and the co-creator. I'm the co-creator with God consciousness, with this infinite source of transparent energy, and then I am the co-creator with all aspects that are having somehow more wisdom. So my soul, my higher self, my monad, my spirit guide, all these things. But again, it's like we don't need to understand. It's really about like trying to be at peace, being satisfied and fulfilled with where I am here and now with my journey. Not comparing myself, because everybody's on a different journey. There's not one road to take. It's all an individual road. And how can I be fulfilled by just being myself? How can I be understanding that the purpose is not something to do, something to change, something to become in this life, but my purpose is simply to find more of this beingness within me. I am already living my purpose by existing. It's really that. And when I start accepting that, feeling that, living that, everything become more effortless, more easy. And I still go towards a route of what I desire to create in this reality, because these desires are also linked to my destiny. There's a reason why I thought of these desires. These thoughts, they don't come out of nowhere, right? If I have a desire, it means that it is somehow part of my destiny. It is part of a plan that my soul, my higher self wants me to expand on. But if I just focus on that future becoming, go, then I'm never going to be satisfied, because the infinite satisfaction is here and now, because everything is here and now. So how can I feel that peace here and now, and that love expression here and now that is always going to evolve itself? It is going to be experienced at a certain level now, a different level the next time I tap into it, but I try to tap into it all the time, and it's always going to be feeling different, because there's no such thing as the same expression. And that's the ultimate lesson of any meditation or any experience. Is like, if I try to come back into a past experience that I felt, oh yeah, I want to live this again, then it's not going to happen, because I'm clinking into it. I'm clinching into it. That goes with anything in life, a meditation or a past experience, or like, for example, someone would say, "Oh, I used to have like such a goodwill or a good power in my company, making so much money when I had this energy, but I lost it. So I try to go back into it. If I go back into it, it's like I'm living in the past."